All right, we are live on Facebook and YouTube.
All right, I'd like to welcome everybody to the Carroll County Commissioners Meeting, Monday, November 17th. Would you please join me for the pledge?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A roll call, please.
Commissioner Workner.
Here.
Commissioner Madransky.
Here.
Commissioner Leggett.
Here, certification by the clerk.
I, April D. Maley, Assistant Clerk 1, certify that the entire recording of the proceedings at the prior meetings are captured completely and accurately in the electronic record and are available at the office.
Motion to approve summary recording of the minutes.
I'll second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion's carried. Motion to approve the travel request.
Move to approve the request. Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion's carried. Motion to approve appropriation amendments.
Second.
All in favor, aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye, that motion carried. The bills today are $86,173.14. Motion to pay the bills.
Move to pay. Second.
Any questions on the bills? All in favor, aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye, that motion's carried. Motion to pay the bills without prior.
So move. Second.
Any questions on those bills? All in favor, aye.
Aye. Aye.
Aye, that motion's carried. Like advised, Merle Long, dog warden, filed his report for the week of November 9th, 2025 to November 15th, 2025, showing 8 dogs impounded, 0 adopted out, 2 redeemed, 0 euthanized, 0 citation for no license, and 1 citation for running at large. Motion to allow the Commissioner's Office to increase their limits of blanket purchase orders for the line of 20724-11024-53343 from $5,000 to $10,000. This is for the wellness program to allow April Maley, Assistant Clerk, to pay several vendors for her purchase orders. In form of a motion.
Move to pay. Second.
Any discussion?
None.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Aye, that motion's carried. All right, so we have Stephen Candle, Public Defender, here today. Going to give us a Public Defender report. Steve, I'll open the floor. And what's this gentleman's name, Steve?
This is Mike Bosky.
Okay.
Am I good to sit here or did I need?
No.
Closer our mic?
You're good.
Okay, I brought the reports for 24 and the current 25. And if I just run through them, I'll run through 24 if there's any questions, and then I'll go through 25 if that's okay. January of 24, we had 42 open cases. Our operating expenses were $19,846.36, and reimbursed was $16,869.41. In February 24, we had 60 open cases. Our monthly operating expenses were $28,781.27, and our amount reimbursed was 85% at $24,472.54. In March of 24, we had 44 open cases. Monthly operating expenses were $18,424.96. We were reimbursed 85% at not right. Sorry. I do the math right on the reimbursements.
That was 85% though.
85% of that. So like, I could just say that it's 85%. In April of 24, we had 36 open cases. 21,612. 28 cents was our operating expenses, and we had reimbursed 85,000, 85% of it, sorry. In May of 24, we had 53 cases. Our operating expenses were 21,161.07 cents. And again, we're reimbursed 85%. In June of 24, we had 27 open cases. Our operating expenses were $20,789.56, and we're reimbursed 85% of it. In July of 24, we had 40 open cases. Our operating expenses were $20,253.22. We were reimbursed 85%. In August of 24, we had 31 cases. We had $27,561.76 operating expenses, and again, we're reimbursed 85%. September of 24, we had 38 open cases. We had operating expenses of $22,143.57, and again, we're reimbursed 85%. October of 24, we had 43 open cases. Our operating expenses were $20,257.22, and we're reimbursed 78%. November of 24, we had 29 open cases. Our operating expenses were $21,086.60. Again, we're reimbursed 78%. And then December, we had 31 cases. Our expenses for $20,433.53, and reimbursed 78% of it. That is 24. Should I answer any questions that you guys have with regards to 2024?
Steve, I just have maybe one, maybe two questions. On the active cases, some of those go month to month, right? They roll over from month to month.
Yeah, some some last months. Some of these abuse, dependency, neglect, or abuse cases in juvenile court, they have a tendency to last maybe a year.
Okay, so you're not getting 38 new active cases 1 month and 54 new active cases the next month. Some of them kind of repeat.
No, those would be open cases for the month.
Okay.
Some distinguished victims
Yeah,
last longer.
gotcha.
I guess I guess it depends on the complexity of the case.
Sure. And then do you know, can you explain why the majority of the year was like at 85% and then the last 3 months were at 78%? It's probably out of your control.
But that's
Comes from the state.
that comes from the state. I think that, in a perfect situation, we would be reimbursed 100%.
Oh,
I think that's the
absolutely.
goal of the state public defense.
Right.
It's just not practical. And I think things start off with a higher percentage of reimbursement, and as expenditures, funds dwindle down towards the end of the year, they have to adjust it. So I can't predict what it would be.
I assume that's what it was. They start out with a certain amount of money and
Yeah.
so you go through the year, that money dwindles, you gotta.
And that's exactly right. The state sets its budget. They set aside so much for defense. And then as the year goes on, if they can see that amount of funds that they set aside isn't going to carry them to the end, then they start to make adjustments to it.
Makes sense.
And the other thing I was going to share is the whole point of this exercise. It seems a little tedious, and I appreciate Steve coming in, is that Ohio Revised Code 12014, Section B states that the public defender shall appear monthly for the commissioners to provide this report. Now, we understand that when he makes the report, it's going to be catch up. So when he appears to us for a month, we might see that it's 2 months behind. And that's to be expected. And what we're doing now is catching up for when the reports were not received. So it's sort of like a nut per tongue situation. And so,
Yes, and I fully expected to have, to be current through September, but for instance, September's numbers aren't ready yet. I think towards the end of the month they will be, so I'll report September in December and before monthly that. But I can run through these 25 numbers quick if it's.
Yeah.
For January of 2025, we had 40 open cases. We had expenses of $29,189.48. We were reimbursed 93%. In February of 25, we had 37 new cases. Our expenses were $24,563.93. Again, we were reimbursed 93%. In March of 25, we had 37 cases. We had expenses of $23,307.54, and we're reimbursed 93%. In April of 25, we had 39 cases. We had 23,684 in expenses, 684.22 in expenses, and again, we're reimbursed 93%. May of 25, we had 43 cases. We had expenses of $23,231.03, and we're reimbursed 82%. In June of 25, we had 36 cases. We had $23,252.82 in expenses, and we're reimbursed 82%. In July, there was 33 cases. We had $30,880.60, and we're reimbursed 82%. And in August, we had 41 cases, expenses of $23,426. Again, we're reimbursed 82%. That brings us as far as what I can report. The commissioners here, like I said, will have new numbers.
and thank you, Steve, so that gets us caught up. We've satisfied the intent of the Ohio Revised Code. And there's one thing that I think can be drawn from the numbers for both years so far. And that is the caseload is pretty consistent, except for one thing I do want to share with my fellow commissioners. So if you're looking at historical data, the load of the public defender is reasonably consistent so that we can budget accordingly. But what the ringer that comes is if there is a capital case with more than one defendant, that could get rather sticky and expensive. Those come up, I believe, on average of every 5 years that we get one of those rolling. And of course, the problem there is each one of the defendants, if it goes to trial, is entitled to their own separate defense. Any comments that either one of you would like to make in that regard?
Yeah, it's expensive. And, for the state, the defense, it's
knock on wood.
All right, any other questions for Steve?
It seems like you guys stay quite busy over there,
Yeah, me too.
Casey. But I appreciate the work you do for the county.
Thanks.
Appreciate it, Steve. All right, think we're ready to move on.
Thank you, gentlemen.
You're welcome to stick around or you can go, whatever you want to do.
Okay. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, this time we have Hunlon Jane and we have Jing Kung, that's his wife. Citizens discuss threat of Chinese party, so I'll let you guys have the floor and start. So you got the floor.
Yeah.
You can sit up here or yeah, why don't you move up here?
Nice.
Morning.
to meet you. But, recently, the CCP, Chinese Communist Party, has ruled this country for 76 years.
And can you speak up just a bit, please?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, in case bad. Yeah. The Chinese party has ruled the country for 76 years. We are suffering, everybody is suffering. Starting from 26 years ago, they started to persecute Falun Gong practitioners. 100 million people are persecuted. That's about 1/3 of US population. What do? They kick them from school, from workplaces, so there's no income, and beating them up, arrest them, and put in prison for whatever years. They even slaughter them. One typical example, Chen Peimin, he was organ harvested, his liver and lungs were organ harvested. Now he still left a 14-inch scar from here to back. And at the second operation for organ harvesting, he escaped. And with the US Undersecretary of the State Department, he was able to come to the United States. It's great. He should be safe, but he's not safe. He didn't feel safe. He was chased, followed, monitored, and his car was slashed at the tire and broken. And he was even almost killed in car accident. That's created car accident. His house was broken into it. Fortunately, he wasn't in, but nothing was stolen. They simply want to kill him because at that time, he was the only known survivor from organ harvesting. This organ harvesting has taken place originally from prisoners and then from 26 years ago, started from Falun Gong practitioners. Because there are so many, arrest them. You can get whatever blood to match the beneficiary. And then this practice extend to Christians, Buddhism, and other religions, and then gradually to Tibetans, Uyghur,
Xinjiang area. Now it's so rampant, the whole system, doctor, medical schools, and military, court, government, and whatever system is involved. They have a complete production chain for organ harvesting and make the human body exhibitions to make money. They even kill babies to extend lives of CCP's, Chinese Communist Party's leader. You may remember in September, on September 3rd, the Chinese martial arts army, martial arts, martial arts parade, and the army parade, Xi Jinping and Putin and North Korea president, they walk upstairs, they talk, and the hot mic got what they talk. What did they say? Xi Jinping said, now we can live to 150 years. Putin asked how? He said, organ transplants. So even the top leader openly talked about this. Now they are so rampant and going towards even any country in Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, and other countries as well. Very dangerous. They even arrest 1 million people in in Thailand and Indonesia, their area. They force them to do wire fraud, AK campers. You may have read it in the newspapers. And recently, FBI arrested and confiscated the money, $150 billion. They use the people they arrested, forced them to make a fraud, wire fraud from any countries, especially from China. Recently, they also from US, they make a lot of money just. And the Chinese Communist Party used the propaganda to fool the country and extend to other countries as well. They spend $7 billion each year on Chinese media. How did they fool them? They buy advertisement on the paper for the whole page or whole section. So when people read it, they thought it's everything. It's from paper. No, it's the ideology of the Chinese Communist Party. And the Chinese in the United States, the English efficiency is not good. So they read or listen to Chinese media, but those are Chinese propaganda. So even they live in this country for 30, 40 years, they are still as if they are under the Chinese Communist Party in China. So even John Chen, who was completely fooled by the CCP, so he bribed the Internal Revenue Service, trying to say Shen Yun has violated the non-profit organizations rules. So they avoid taxes. Shen Yun, you all know, they gave over 800 performances last year in 200 cities. and millions of people enjoy it so much, but Chinese Communist Party hate it. Shenyun actually is a US company. They aim to survive the Chinese traditional value. But CCP is hated because any truth will be revealed. CCP is only doing lies. They even, while this Johnson bribed the Internal Revenue Service, he happened to met with the FBI agent, so arrested on the spot. This is how it is. But the Chinese is not only paying money for Chinese media, but also use money to buy advertisements on New York Times and Washington Post and so on. They put all the advertisement on whole page or folk section. So they also import these newspapers to China to fool the Chinese people. They say, oh, New York Times or Washington Post say US system is so bad, democracy is so bad, and Japan is so bad. So that's why even the Chinese people who come to the United States, they would say whatever read or heard saying the US is so bad. CCP not only saying, but they are doing a lot of harm to this country. For Shenyun, in the last 2 years, they did 250 bomb threats and mass shooting threats to Shenyun performance. They sent bomb threats to theaters or send emails, you should not let them perform, otherwise bombs is going to happen in your theater. In Washington, D.C., in Kennedy Center, in February this year, this happened. And Shenyun was going to perform there, but the bomb threat, so they have to evacuate. Also in Cincinnati, the same thing happens. They set a force fire alarm to the next building of the theater. So the policemen, the fire engines all crowded the streets to find it out, but find us nothing. The next day, Shenyun is performing there. They again set another building fire alarm, fire engine working. And this happens all the time. And in 40 countries, 250 such incidents created. And they also created hatred to the US, to any other Western society that has a different value as CCP. They said, for instance, Falun Gong practitioners follow truthfulness, compassion, forbearance. But these are forbidden words in Communist Party in China. Even you talk about truthfulness, compassion, forbearance. Even you have two people, they say, oh, don't talk about. It seems to be pandemic. Everybody is forbidden because once you are talking about that, the CCP will arrest you or fire you. You are seen to practice Falun Gong. And in the OSU, in Columbus, when the students drive their car to park there, simply because there are three words: truthfulness, compassion, forbearance. Their car tire is slashed, damaged. And this happens also in Cleveland. In Cleveland, we went to Cleveland's Clinic Foundation to promote Shenzhen. This is so good, so nice. Doctors and patients all enjoy it. For the first year, it went on very well. So they invited us to go to the second year. Everything was done. Application, everything's done. But at 6 o'clock in the evening, they sent me an email. No, the event was canceled. I went. The next morning at 10 o'clock is going to start the event. I said, why? She said, because the CCF Asia Affairs Committee advisor, who is a Chinese doctor, she said Falun Gong is political, Shenzhen is political, and so we canceled. And in Columbus, again, Asia Affairs, Asia Arts Affairs, for 3 or 4 years, went on very well. But 2 years ago, it was canceled because the Asia Art Affairs Committee, there's a professor, a Chinese professor, who joined it and said it's political. The Chinese, why do they hate Falun Gong and Shenzhen so much? Simply because the Chinese propaganda, they say whatever, and this is very dangerous.
So I have a question. If you,
Yeah.
I know that President has said repeatedly that he feels like the Chinese government is flooding the US with fentanyl.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
Whatever they can make money or make US or Western societies worse, they want to do it.
So are they actually doing that?
Yeah, sure.
That's
That's
one
true.
of their strategy to weaker American
Yeah.
or West society. They have an unlimited war started 20 years ago. We didn't realize, but they are target for American as an enemy. So they tried everything, like a fentanyl as a drug, and also they have like a bio weapons, like a pandemic. So they did everything unlimited war, not for hot war, but the war against the society. And they are like just do something like build up hatred for the society. Not only for fighting, they try to do, they said there's a no smoke war.
Brainwashing the people. And
They are just-
actually, people do not realize they are saying what they want, they said. What they said is all, everything what they heard from the CCP, the ideology.
So your message is that the American people need to become aware that the Chinese government is working to undermine the United States of America.
It systematically has been working for since they established, they have been working hard.
Not
on
from
this.
today.
It's a
They
long,
from
long history.
long time ago.
Yeah,
They just don't have that ability. Now, American give them an ability, build up their strength. So we get factory to them, and we get money to China. They use those money and technologies to China too. So they use those against America now. So we've been persecuted for 26 years. We know they are not
really friendly to American, especially for freedom. So
And
they try to control the whole world.
we practice Falun Gong in the United States. We have already lived here for a long time. So whatever I did in the US, they shouldn't know what exactly. However, when I visited China as a senior economist representing Eaton, going to business on China. When I visited my mother, who is 96 years old, my mother didn't know what I was coming, but they knew, and they visited my mother. And they asked what I was doing and so on. When I actually visited my mother on the New Year of Chinese New Year, the policemen, they were supposed on holiday. 8 policemen drove about 200 miles from the capital city of the province to my mother's town city. And then they lured me to the basement of a hotel and interrogated me about what I did and so and so. They even get a file of such thick, say you did this, you published this paper, all that. They knew everything. I lived in Boston and Cleveland for each about 20 years. How did they know what I was doing? They have spies. They have everything. And they use Chinese Confucius Institute programs. That's very, very damaged.
They occupy us like a education system.
Yeah, like give you an example, Sang Ting, who graduated from Ashland University. Then she went to Indiana to teach in the high school Chinese. She taught very well for 2 or 3 years, but suddenly her job position was eliminated. She had no way to do her job because the Chinese Confucius Institute, they went there and they are responsible for the money and also in charge who is going to teach, what countries, what contents you are going to teach. If you are not one of them, you are out. The Americans are kicked out simply because this. And if you have a Chinese colleague, she or he may be very nice, but when you ask a question, they may respond immediately what they heard. It's Chinese Communist Party ideology. They are standing on the CCP side. They may not know what they are standing. And also, US, just giving another example, an American who lived in China for 15 years and married a Chinese lady, came back to US. He moved to Middletown in New York. That's where Shen Yun located. For 4 years, didn't do anything. He just did one thing. Every year, we filed the lawsuit against Shen Yun. He said Shen Yun is violating the environmental issues. And then the judge has to investigate. For 4 years, they investigate. There's nothing evident on the environment issue. So the judge later on made the decision forbidding this guy to file lawsuit again unless he has new evidence and hard evidence. That's all working against the US. And newspaper, the CCP put on ads, advertisement to foolish Americans. Those who read it, everything they publish there is saying Chinese is so good, and buildings are so nice. And just say US is so bad. They are always created the hatred between China and US. So that's why in this country, there are so many people talking about communism, and education is the most important. They threw the propaganda on US media and Ivy League universities. They teach communist ideology. That's very dangerous.
So we are just trying here to let everybody, all Americans know, living under the sweater for, the CCP's ideology. And if we don't realize that, we'll be through like what we've been through. We don't want Americans through the sweater again. That's dangerous.
That's our obligation to inform all Americans. That's very important.
All right,
See how many, like a land, farmland, involved from China.
we definitely, thanks for the information. We need to move along here, but I think we give you a decent time to speak, and we appreciate what you came in for. Anybody else have any questions or? No,
Thank you for giving us
Yep.
the opportunity. Speak now.
all right, we appreciate you coming in.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And if you want to help, I think one thing, you ask the senator to pass S-817, that's Falun Gong Protection Act. This actually has universally passed by the House, but now it's sitting in the Senate House. To have this passed, then organ harvesting, those people who do the evils, they have to think hard.
They cannot be here. If they are involved for the organ harvesting, those doctors or those people make decisions, they won't be able to come to America. So now we are trying to do something started so they can stop. They've been doing this more than 30 years. So really just like they were spread everywhere in the world.
You said it was
A17,
SA-17?
Yes,
8.
817.
17.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you,
very
guys.
much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
We got a clerk's report today.
I do. I have a couple things I would like to share. I would just like to let viewers know that the American Red Cross is giving out free smoke alarms with free installation to those in need. Viewers can call the American Red Cross to set up an appointment to install the fire alarm at 330-453-0146. This information has been shared to the Commissioner's Facebook page. And I would also like to let viewers know that Governor Mike DeWine and the Ohio Committee for Severe Weather Awareness are recognizing recognizing November 16th through November 22nd, 2025 as 2025 Winter Safety Awareness Week. Some tips to help you prepare for winter hazards are having an emergency kit in plan, knowing where to get reliable emergency communications, and practicing your plan. Viewers can learn more about winter safety and preparedness by visiting the OCSWA Winter Safety Awareness Week page at www.weathersafety.ohio.gov. And that's all I have.
All right, thanks, Eva. Anybody got any questions for Eva? Mr. Workman, you have anything for the board today?
So I'll be working the Loaves and Fishes this evening. And that'll begin at 7. That's at the old Center Township building. One of the reasons I bring it up is the pop-up food pantry was cleaned out at its last visit to the county. And the traditional brick and mortar food pantries still have plenty of food aids. So other than that, that's all the more I have to share.
All right, Commissioner Madransky.
Yeah, the board received a resignation from Fawn Allman, Assistant Dog Warden, on Friday. Our last day is going to be December 12th, so I'll make a motion, we accept that resignation.
I'll second.
Any other discussion? All in favor, aye.
Aye.
That motion's carried.
And I'd like to make a motion that we go out and advertise for an assistant dog warden. We'll just do it until the position's filled.
Yeah, I'll second that motion.
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
That motion's carried.
I believe I will be going to, I'm assuming the rest of you are too, the multi-county tomorrow. The Board of Commissioners meeting there, then I have a Harkins meeting on Wednesday. That's all for me.
All right, the only thing I have is I also will be going to the Jazz tomorrow. I'm supposed to be there at 10 o'clock, which I won't be able to make that meeting, but I will make the one at 12:45. Have a contractors meeting tomorrow at the Annex Building. We're getting close enough that I feel that I need to be there, so I'll just miss the Jazz in the morning, pick it up in the afternoon. Other than that, I don't really have much else right now. So any other business coming before this board?
Motion we adjourn.